Welcome to the series of video tutorials on how to carry out effective research. Hello, my name is Aftab Dean, and in this video session we will be looking at conducting a qualitative research. In this video lecture we will be focusing on 4 areas of qualitative research, namely, what is qualitative research? Why do we use qualitative research? What are the different types of qualitative research? And finally, how do we analyze the data collected? In terms of the first question, what is qualitative research? Most people define it as the study of words and their meaning. This is also known as phenomenology. And the text can either be from the literature, newspapers, or from some recording that you've recently made. The next reason as to why do we use qualitative research, it is partly to gain a better understanding of the reasons for people's behaviour, to gain new insights into their behaviour, and finally, if we're undertaking a research project, to contribute to our theoretical understanding. In terms of how do we start a research project, we would start by first identifying a research problem. Namely, what is it that you intend to identify from this research? Finally, in terms of the various types of qualitative research, there are 3 popular qualitative research approaches. The first being semi-in-depth interviews, the second focus groups, and the third one, which is growing in popularity, is online qualitative research. We will now look at the most popular qualitative research methods in more detail. The first being semi-in-depth interviews. The goal of interviews is to collect information about people's experiences, opinions and attitudes and feelings. I recommend that you start with general questions, and secondly, try to avoid many monosyllabic response questions. Basically, this means avoiding questions that will result in a yes/no type response. Try to categorize your questions into themes because people like to answer questions in a logical order. And finally, don't be afraid to add a new question during the interview. The second most popular qualitative research method is focus group interviews. There are 6 steps in undertaking focus group interviews. Firstly, make sure you have pilot tested the questions. Secondly, make sure that you have no more than between 6 and 8 members in the focus group. Thirdly, introduce yourself. Fourthly, clarify the purpose of the focus group and how the results will be used and fed back to respondents. Fifthly, explain why people were selected. And finally, don't forget to clarify the confidentiality of the meeting. The third most popular qualitative research method is online qualitative research. This is where you can host discussions with respondents online through chat rooms, through Facebook, or through Skype, or through some other social media platform. We will now look at a number of steps on how to analyze qualitative data. Step 1. After each interview, you should be taking memo notes to remind yourself key themes are emerging. Step 2. Transcribe the interviews and write the memos on your transcripts. Step 3. Split your transcripts into key themes. Step 4. Identify codes in each theme. Step 5. Determine whether the codes are homogeneous or whether they need to be spliced together with other codes. Step 6. Try to identify any links between codes. Step 7. Create a graphical display of the links between the codes. Step 8. Identify whether all possible responses have been identified. In Step 9, if all responses have not been identified, you need to continue interviewing until you reach data saturation. Finally, in Step 10, it is now time to write a report that details the summary of your key findings of your qualitative research. Thank you for listening to this video tutorial on qualitative research methods.